From the constant and futile work of trying not to be beaten, raped, killed, and otherwise assaulted and violated by men, merely because we are women, heartbroken from the sheer volume of names and stories of women whose lives have been taken by men merely because they were women, angry at the men who violated and assaulted us and take our lives but get to walk away for free or with just a slap on the wrist because their victims are women. Tired of victim blaming narratives that are pervasive on social media, traditional media, and utterances from government officials, and that flood our lives and timelines every time another one of us is killed. Despairing at the responses of chiefs, police, prosecutors, courts, and other government actors when we go to them for help and protection, frustrated at the insufficient and alphabetical implementation of laws that are supposed to prevent and address violence against women, including femicides, empowered by the Constitution of Kenya and the collective decision that enough is enough. We shall not continue to be silent as we are being slaughtered. We demand as follows. Number one, that that a presidential declaration of violence against women and femicide as a national crisis requiring an emergency response and reports on measures taken to address both issues on an annual basis as part of the constitutional mandate state of the national address. Two, in response to the declaration of violence against women and femicides as a national crisis, we demand an establishment of a commission on the elimination of femicide and violence against women and girls, whose terms of reference shall include the development of a national plan of action for the elimination of violence against women and femicides. The Commission of the Elimination of Femicide and Violence Against Women and Girls shall be composed of national, African, and international feminists, and this composition shall be 60% of women and 40% men, which ensures its compliance with the 2/3 rule. Its chair shall be a Kenyan feminist of international repute with expertise on violence against women, intimate partner violence, and for femicide. The chair, one of the two secretaries, and at least 50% of the commission's members shall be nominated by the organization of the Total Shutdown Kenya and End Femicide Movement, given the ineffective and existing institutions and agencies on these crucial issues. We demand an independent secretariat, not one affiliated to the State Department of Gender or Gender Advisory of the Office of the President. None of the members of the Commission shall have criminal conviction or any history of women against or violence against women. Fourth, with the return of the State Department of Gender on Ministry of Public Service and restoration of the name of the Ministry of Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action. Women's rights, including women's rights to life and security, are a matter of national concern and central to national development. Article 1 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 states that all sovereign power belongs to the people. Women are people. Women and girls are more than half of the people of Kenya. The issue of gender equality and affirmative action and women full integration into the benefits from citizenship are core to the public service and national development, and the location of the State Department of Gender should reflect that. Given the public record of violence against women statements by the current Cabinet Secretary of Public Service, we demand his resignation and appointment of a Cabinet Secretary with no record of violence against women to head the Restructural Research Administration. We demand an increase in the allocation of funds and personnel to the State Department of Gender to support the monitoring of governments of Kenya violence against women commitments and the development of prevention of violence against women and intimate partner violence programs for men. We demand an inclusive and participatory process which includes grassroots feminist organizations and movements. In the appointment of women to public positions, Kenyan feminists, especially young Kenyan feminists, are more than qualified to serve in public service, and the appointment process continues to overlook and deny young feminists appointment in positions. Despite constitutional requirements that government bodies and other public service institutions are compliant with the two-thirds gender rule, have meaningful representation of youth, and have at least 5% of members being persons living with disability. For the avoidance of doubt, women constitute 50% of youth and people with disability. And I will read the seventh demand and then present the petition to the women rep. And the petition will be found on various social media platforms. When you Google Total Shutdown Kenya, that is where we will find the petition. So finally, we note that women and violence against women and femicide thrive in environments where men are permitted to dominate, and further note that we continue to have these environments despite constitutional provisions and numerous court orders. These numerous public bodies are illegally super majority male. We therefore demand full, immediate compliance with the two-thirds gender rule and the reconstitution of public service bodies to ensure compliance with the Constitution and the law and promote equality. Super majority male bodies continue to demonstrate. They do not take women's issues, women's security, women's dignity, and women lives seriously. So at this point, allow me to present the petition to our women representative on behalf of the women of Kisumu and
Thank you very much. My name is Ruth Odinga, the women rep or the county MP for Kisumu County, and I am quite happy to see what is happening today. Today I can see you've come out in your numbers to actually talk about this femicide, the killing of women within the whole country. It seems that the law is now taking its roots. When you see the citizens coming out, when the government has been quiet, it means they have had enough. And enough is enough. Yeah. I had a speech to read, but out of this petition, I can see you have your heads in the right place. Yeah. Most of the times we read these speeches that go nowhere. But with the kind of petition that I've seen here, it means that all the demands that you want, the change you want from the CS of the gender to all the committees being mostly populated with the women community. I sit in parliament and I can tell you that the women have a raw deal. We do not get anything through because most of the times, most of the committees are 3/4 men with only a few women, even the ones that actually are there to support the women cause. Yes. And it is time to change. Yes. And the biggest statement I've heard from my sister is the one that says that you have enough women, enough feminists, enough young people to populate these offices. Yes. Why are they not being done so? It is high time that we look at these issues, not by begging the president, not by begging parliament, not by begging the governor, but saying that put the right people in the place and you see the change. If you take these women and you put them in to head the police division, to head the security of these counties, you see the change. There will be less of us sitting, going to the police stations that are populated by the male policemen who then harass the same women. And when you go there, you're called a prostitute. That is the truth. We have gender-based violence desks at the police stations. What are they doing there? You are being molested and you are being harassed and even given death threats, even in your own house. When you reach the police station, unaambiwa na polisi that wewe ndio you provoke the man because he's a man. And being killed in the A&D, they are being called prostitutes. Who are they prostituting with? Is it not the men who are the prostitutes? It is with great sorrow that I sit in a country where the president is happy, telling people how Kenya is going on, and the people who manage any country are the women, and women are being killed in Kenya more than any other country in Africa, and we cannot sit and watch it. In fact, the worst part of it is that the president is moving, globe-trotting in the whole country and has been set on the death of the women of this country. Why is not coming out? Do you have to go for the... I'm not calling him president. I'm asking Mr. Ruto. Please come out and say no. Please, let's have a system that is going to be workable. And this petition here, I will forthright text to the governor, but ensure that I go with it even up to parliament and ensure this set become
too much for people to recognize that women are dying, that girls are dying, that we have to scream on top of our voices and hope that somebody somewhere is listening. Being a woman is not a luxury, neither is it a privilege. We are here by right. It is our right to exist as women, as females, in all our colorful identities. To be in a relationship and say no is not a license to kill, to maim, to murder, to brutalize, to demonize, to disable. We have started the work to say enough is enough. And it is interesting that when we look at our colorful male leadership, we worry because everybody has a history that does not support what we are talking about today. So we started this march, and I hope it is not only for today. We shall continue to march. We shall shout, we shall scream, we shall speak, we shall do whatever it takes for people to realize that women's bodies are not supposed to be beaten. That we as women, as girls, can say no and still hold our head up. And that nobody has the license or a right to be able to tell us that violence is the way. Thank you.
In their homes, in Airbnbs, on the streets, in schools, almost like as though there's nowhere they're safe. It has got to the point whereby being a woman in this country is now become a privilege. And the reason we say that is because there's no action that's been taken. In fact, we have seen more women being victimized and blamed for actions of murder, of brutalizing. Women are demonized right from the political leadership to the community. We are now dealing with a situation where just being a woman, just being female, is enough for us to warrant abuse, to be denigrated in our different colors, to be told off, to be told that we cannot say no. I can be in a relationship and still say no, and it should be my right. But the country does not accept that I can say no. And what we have witnessed is more young men and boys of all nationalities thinking it is normal for women and girls to be abused and to be murdered. And the inaction by the state is in itself a tacit acknowledgement that what is actually going on is deserving of the women, because we are told that where were they, what were they doing, who were they with. We cannot be continued to be demonized about having a relationship. We cannot be told that wanting to have freedom and enjoying life has become a crime for which we must now be held accountable, and that in the event that one of us is dead, then we then go back and not accuse the perpetrator, but start digging into the life history, the character, the physical attributes of that girl, making it look like it was a justified act. The march today is to tell the government we shall not be silenced. We shall continue to make noise. We shall sing, we shall speak in whatever language it takes, we shall write, we shall send as many petitions, because this government must act. The women in this country are at risk of being completely annihilated, of being told that they're not worthy of being Kenyans, and we must act. And I want to appeal to our brothers out there that we need to be able to have them to start defending us. Every home has a man from the father, or uncles, or their sons, or their nephews. We are calling on every single person to be able to come to our side and say, I am with you, and that no woman deserves the sort of criminal, heinous acts that we're seeing being meted against them.